Perhaps the biggest question I get asked about the diecasts that I show lighted on YouTube is how hard is it, how long does it take, and ultimately, can I do it? Well, the answer is it depends on whether you have patience, time, and perseverance. I'm going to show you in this video the lighting of one of the more difficult ones that I do, the white ambulance. It has 28 LEDs in it when finished. That means 56 wires you're going to have to put together and put into just 2 leads coming out of it. It is not brain surgery. Basically, I taught myself how to do it. Let's get at it. We're going to be working on this KinSmart ambulance model. It's about 1/43 scale, 4.5 inches long. Step 1, break the thing down into these main pieces. Use some container to keep all the removed parts in one place. I use old prescription bottles. These are the glues that I use. Also a connector that will hook up to the layout power eventually. I'll put a PDF in the description of the video telling you where to get these, as well as where to get the LEDs I've used. And while I'm not going to read these off, it is important that you take the time to read them and heed them. It's going to make your life a lot easier as we go along, and it'll help you turn out a reliable and quality product. But for now, let's get busy. Snap the pullback motor and rear axle off the base plate. Carefully split the housing. Remove the gears and the spring. Then you trim the sides of the motor housing as shown, snap it back together, and put it back in the base plate. Going to want to drill a 9/64 hole through the base plate in the position shown here. That's for the lead that'll go on eventually. Drill out the rivets, holding the doors in place. Now you're going to want to use an extra hard drill bit, preferably a cobalt bit. To get these loop arms off the doors, I used a bolt cutter. It gives more room for the wiring. Remove these pieces from the cab, but be sure you protect that windshield from scratches. Lop off the pins inside the roof of the cab and you'll remove the light bar. Now use a 5/32 drill to separate the light bar parts. You're going to want to make 3 holes in it, evenly spaced. Now we'll use the light bar as a base, as a template, to drill 3 5/32 holes in the roof of the cab. Pass some chip-size LEDs through the openings. I use 2 reds and a white, all of them fast flashers. You glue them in the base of the light bar, leaving enough clearance to put the top back on, then glue the base in place atop the cab, and after that, glue the lens in place. And the light bar is ready to go. Moving on, we'll remove that chrome piece from behind the head and parking light lenses in the cab. Going to want to drill a 5/64 hole in each end and a 7/64 hole in the outer headlight position, and then you'll glue this piece back in place. Carefully cut the windshield piece as indicated here by the yellow line and glue it back into position in the cab. Well, there's a lot going on here. Put a piece of black tape over the bottom of the holes in the cab roof. That'll avoid LED flashback in that area. Then you glue in the dashboard. You'll install Pico orange fast flash LEDs in the parking light positions and chip white fast flash LEDs in the headlight holes that you drilled out earlier. Now we're going to glue the doors in their proper place. That's pretty simple. This next is not so simple. Time to stuff the bridge rectifiers and wires into the available space beneath the cab. It helps to cut away parts of the seat insert that you don't need to hold the thing together. Also, all but 2 of the leads here have been interconnected to a double lead, which eventually will get hooked to the lighting area in the rear of the ambulance. With that, the cab portion of the project's completed, so you can set it aside for now. Okay, time to work on the body. You're going to use your knife to split the glue seam holding the floor piece in place. Once you have that floor piece out, remove the parts indicated. Those sides will pull right out, but you'll have to cut off the seat. Cut these 2 notches in the rear of the floor piece. That'll make space for putting in the taillights. Cut away the upper sockets for the rear doors. You're going to need that space for some of the LEDs. Now we'll drill a 1/8 inch hole in each of the 19 light locations around the top of the body. Be very careful. Try to keep them lined up. You'll use black tape near where the LED holes are drilled, put it on the roof of the thing inside to prevent light leaking into the translucent white plastic. Next up, drill 5/64 openings for the taillights. Now the 3mm LEDs that you're going to use in front and sides of this part can be bent at a 90-degree angle just behind the bulb. It helps to install them if you do that. And now you'll start gluing the LEDs in place. The 4 in the rear do not need to be bent like the ones in the sides. Those 4 can go straight in and their leads will be up against the roof. Carefully twist one wire from each LED to one wire from another, and then pair the second 2 for that LED. And continue doing this for all the LEDs in the rear. And then you'll twist the paired LEDs into 2 bundles. Now make sure that you don't twist pairs from the same group to each other, because it won't work if you do that. Next, we'll tie the twisted groups together so that only 2 wires are needed to light all those LEDs eventually. For reasons best known to the maker, this die-cast came without any windows in the rear doors. You'll need to add some clear plastic here. Now we'll glue the rear doors in place as solidly as possible. Once that dries, cover the windows with electrical tape on the back side so the flashing LEDs within the body won't be visible through the windows. Pass the 2 wires coming from the body LEDs through that hole where the seat used to be in the floor piece, and then you're going to glue the floor piece into place. Now that floor piece must clear the area for the brake lights and also clear the slot for the tab at the rear of the chassis. You can use a dot of laser bond to make taillights lenses. At this point, we're going to position the cab on the body using masking tape along the sides to temporarily hold it in place. You'll attach the leads from the ambulance to the 2-conductor connector after first tying a relief knot in the lead wires. Position that knot inside the cut-down motor housing and reinstall the base piece. And be sure to label the bottom with the voltage of the unit. You'll appreciate doing that later on. Let's hook her up and see if it works. Again, look for the PDF attached to the description of this video for some valuable information you're going to need. I hope the video has proven helpful, and I thank you for watching.